Hey everybody, this is James from All Outdoors, and today we're having a look at the disassembly of the legendary Browning SA-22. I recently picked this gun up for review, and it's very exquisite. This is a brand new Japanese model and 22 long rifle. Sorry I can't get it all in the frame for you, but I guess you'll have to wait for the review. In any case, today I want to talk about the disassembly and the reassembly. And for those who don't know, this is a takedown 22 rifle. And the first step is to, well, take the gun down. And as we know, as you may know anyway, the gun is a bottom eject. So the shells eject from the bottom. And they feed from the bottom. So you have this tab here. Go ahead and just work that up. Draw your bolt back a little bit. Take some pressure off and turn, and the gun breaks down in half. Now you basically leave the barrel half alone. Just need to clean that. Clean the inside the bore, whatever you have to do. Now you have the back half. There's your magazine. You load the rifle through the back, not the front, like you would say on like one of my Marley Model 60s. Now just pull the magazine tube right out. There's a mag tube. Now to get to the guts, it's a pretty simple process. The manual says to put on the safety, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Put on the safety. I'm gonna, well, make sure the weapon's cocked. That's what I think is a little bit easier for me anyway. And I'm gonna see if I can get this for the camera for you guys can see. Let me go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Alright, we have the trigger guard and we have the receiver. It's all milled steel. So what we're going to do is that we're going to finagle this out by lifting the back, well, pushing forward like so, lifting up, if it'll let me do it. Yeah, you just got to work against the spring pressure, push, then you have to push up off the rails. There's a pair of interlocking rails here that interfaces inside the receiver, and it comes right out, and there's the inside of the receiver, and this is where the magazine tube goes in. And there are a few small parts here, but they really can't easily be removed, so go ahead and clean the inside of the housing as you wish. But the real issue is going to be the bolt. Okay, so here we have the bolt, big heavy bolt there. You have your recoil spring, your firing pin bushing, and your firing pin is on the inside. Of course, there's your trigger group here that holds everything together. What I'm going to do is take the safety off and fire. There we go. Now what I do next is I take a, you really don't need a fancy tool for this. You just need a bit of a screwdriver or something to press down on that recoil spring and it'll come right off. Let me show you. Alright, let's see if I can do this while staying in the camera angle now. It's a good idea to wear safety glasses because this thing is under some spring pressure. And I already got it depressed. So it's not like too tight, but you want to watch out. See, can't shoot down on me like this. So, oops. Get that kink out. You want to make sure not to kink this rod. Okay, we got the recoil spring off of its nub there. It almost shot out on me there, but that's alright. It's a very long spring. There's your keeper. You want to make sure not to kink that. And of course you could just take out your bolt by just pulling back on the bolt handle like so and lifting right on up. There we go. Alright, just getting a little bit of a closer look at this. You can see the housing where the firing pin goes in. Then there's one on the side for your recoil spring. That's really about it. And you do have your extractor and ejector out front. That could be driven out with a punch as well. Big bolt. Not really anywhere because it's a brand new rifle. But there it is. Let's put it back together. You want to make sure this flat spot is at the bottom. There we go. The more difficult part is making sure to get this guy in without compressing the spring. Well, you have to compress the spring, but without kinking the spring, because it's quite a long spring and a short keeper. So you have to tighten that thing down quite a bit and get it down and then get it in there. It's almost a three-handed operation, but we can do it. Let's get it started. Hopefully I can get this in camera this time. Huh. That actually worked. At least for me. Now everything's a little bit easier. Make sure everything works. You can just go ahead and cock it. There we go. You can see that back piece is now out. The gun is cocked and ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and dry fire it. And you ordinarily don't want to dry fire this rifle inside the gun. This is one of those old-fashioned rifles that you definitely do not want to dry fire. But with that said, that's basically how you take it apart. All you have to do is just put it right on back in its housing. Alright. Goes in. It might have finagled the bolt. I was drawing it a little bit. And draw it all the way there and just go over those rails and then back. And there you go. And of course, put back your spring. Let's not forget the magazine. I have to get a little bit of twisty turnies, but that's alright. Give it a quarter turn clockwise, locks right in. And there's our loading port. And you just reassemble the rifle as you usually would, or you can simply leave it taken down. There we go. We'll see you guys at the range.